What's going on, everybody? Anthony here, 6 Scale Mafia. Today we got a special Thursday afternoon stream. Peter, welcome back, my friend.
What up, dude?
How are you doing?
Great. Happy to be here talking toys. Favorite thing
I know, it just seems like we talked not that long ago and all this new stuff is here, so super excited. And Hector, this is the first time I've met you, so it's always a pleasure to have you coming as well.
Thank you.
And P-Rock, what's up, my man?
What's up? Thanks for inviting me again, Peter.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Again.
Yeah,
Hector,
man.
first time. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
1/6 shape, another Hector. he is also Hector. So
there's more than one.
There is more than one. Guys, if you don't know, we are talking San Diego Comic-Con just happened last week. You guys dropped a lot of bombs over here for Mondo 6 Scale, and it's funny because we were talking not that long ago, and I was like, so is it this or is it that? And yeah, exactly. Dropping bombs, dude. So I was surprised. You held it in. You held it in pretty good. I was trying to
try to, because you want those hype moments, and believe me, like, even the shit right now that we know about, where I'm desperate to talk about it, but then that kind of kills that feeling. I like when there's a new movie coming out and something leaks, it's like, oh, that's cool. But there's just something about when we never got those leaks, or when the previews were really like hiding shit. And when you get to that moment with everybody watching at the same time, because what Comic-Con is, right? It's like a focal point. Everyone's like scouring who dropped what and where is it. Right. And that hype to me is almost even better than the figures, because it's so fun and communal, which is why we try to hold things back to keep that fun.
Dude, yeah, I'm with you. Like, remember how I was growing up? Like, we'd see trailers and stuff. You wouldn't know, or you just go watch a movie and you're like, whoa. It's like that's that kind of feeling.
Yeah, and totally. It was one of those things where it's like especially with Man-Bat, we were just like, we wanted to tell people so bad, and some folks guessed it. We were on a couple other shows, and some people guessed it, and we were just like, oh, well, that's a good guess. But yeah, it was definitely one of those where we were very excited to like reveal that at the show. Oh, I bet. And he's huge. Yeah. It's like a almost 3 foot wingspan. It's like this. It's this big. It's hard to.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have to see it better in person, man. I have to see it better in person.
We do have the collapsible wings. Yeah, get it, Hector. We do have the collapse, like the folded wings accessory. So if you do have limited space, look at that, dude.
Holy! Here, I'll just bring you up. Look at. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, it looks amazing with that wide wingspan, but even if people have limited shelf space or trying to fit it in a tight spot, the folded wings look is awesome too. It's like kind of dramatic, and like, especially if you put we have like multiple head sculpts. So if you put the right head sculpt on it, he just looks all like pissed off or depressed. We got one of those sad heads on it too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah,
lots of options.
I actually like the articulated arms more than the open wings. The open wings just give you like an epic display piece, right? Like you put it up there on your shelf and it's just like, oh my God, that's crazy. But there's a lot more you can do with the articulated wings. The fingers are articulated. You can move it around. You can get really creative poses, like Peter was saying, more expressive poses. Yeah, there you go. It's just we couldn't get that full silhouette that you could get with the open wings. The articulation didn't allow for it. So we decided, screw it, we're going to offer both options.
Yeah.
And I think this thing was super well received. People loved it. Sold out in like a day or two.
Yeah, I mean,
I grabbed mine, man. I think the icing the cake is a t-shirt, ripped t-shirt.
Dude, right?
I love that, man.
Me too. Because that white just breaks up the dark color and gives some definition to the anatomy there. And I just want to say thank you, obviously, but also kudos to the people who pre-ordered it, because when you're a designer, when you're coming up with these product ideas, you're always wondering, like, people are going to love this, but are they going to buy it? Because if they buy it, that means that the audience is ready to go like for some crazy stuff. We have ideas.
Next level.
Clayface. Yeah, right. Clayface, like for sure, is on the table now because Man-Bat is like a big dynamic figure. You want that size difference with your other figures. It just looks so cool when they're all like in size in the right scale with each other. But people showing up, the figures selling out during Comic-Con, that like, right, that like untethers us and say, let's go, let's fucking go.
Look at all the different, so many different faces and.
I love this, dude. I don't know why. I love the emo sad face and the white shirt, folded wings.
Me
That's
too.
my
Me
setup.
too. Oh,
I feel bad for him as a character, you know?
Yeah, but you guys have been like kicking ass with this, man. Like doing exactly that, giving everybody a ton of different variety, multiple head sculpts, and all these different accessories, man. That's what I really think. Like, I mean, dude, look at that.
That's so good.
It's awesome. Wow. Yeah, it sold out, right? So that was so cool.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, again, like Peter was saying, kind of like it was a risk, to take. Man-Bat isn't the most well-known Batman character, right? I mean, if you're a diehard fan of the Batman the Animated Series, On Leather Wings is one of the best half hours of TV ever made, honestly, and it will forever be ingrained in my head. So I've been wanting to do Man-Bat for the longest time. It was just a matter of like, okay, is the audience there? Are people going to love it? Do we just take the risk? And Comic-Con is always that kind of place. And the Super Bowl for, I guess, we call it for collectibles, for all of this. And if there's a time to do something big, it would be Comic-Con. So that's why we went with it. And the response was amazing. And it just, like Peter said, gives us ammunition to go and tackle something like a Clayface or Bane. Right, Bane from that show is like, that design is so good.
Yeah. See, now what is that like? I mean, you both grew up. I mean, we're all around the same generation. Like, we grew up with this stuff, and you guys are making it now. I mean, if you step aside from the work, because I know sometimes like work is work, no matter what we do, but that feeling's got to be like amazing. You're like, holy shit, I'm making this, or part of this. Like, it's coming alive. It's like they're jumping right off the screen. It's gotta be an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and I think it kind of shows that we're fans, right? Like, this is, we're not just making it to make it. We're making it because we love the property, and that's why you get all those different portraits, and that's why you get all the little Easter eggs, like the torn shirt and that kind of stuff, because it's like, I've watched that episode more times than I can count, right? So it's one of those things where it's like we pulled every little bit we could. There was one iteration where we had like all his little science kit that could come with it and stuff. And, after a while, it's like you have to realize what you can add or what you can take out. But that's how granular we get, where we're like pulling like, oh, he's gonna have little science kit that comes with it.
It's an honor too, the idea that this is something that we all hold dear. I mean, there's nothing worse than working on something that, like a property like this, and then shitting the bed, because then it almost feels like you disrespected everybody's, memories of their childhood. So it's a responsibility, obviously, and it's an honor to be able to do it and to be trusted by Warner Brothers and DC to do it justice. And then when everybody signs up and picks it up and it sells out, that's the best feeling. That feels like the whole circle is complete. Now to get it in people's hands so people can put it on their shelves and take awesome pictures, that will really be the moment. I want to see Man-Bat in the wild.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, and dude, speaking of, I mean, kudos again to your guys' photographer.
Oh.
Seriously, because every time I feel like the animation's there.
The cartoon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for this particular one, we worked with Brandon at Posable Creations or Posable Production. Let me look that up before I butcher it. But he's been a fan of our stuff and has been shooting at our figures for fun for the longest time. And so we gave him the opportunity, and he crushed it. And typically we use our photographer 𝗕𝗔𝗩𝗘, who does all of our like Masters of the Universe stuff, and it's next level.
Yeah, we're lucky to have both of them, man. Incredible.
Dude, it's awesome. Excuse me, it's absolutely awesome.
Hector, real quick, one thing I told Peter in the last stream, I appreciate this from you guys, and I consider you and NECA are like right now the only two companies that I feel actually do the homework when you create the characters and the figures, because every accessories is for a reason. Like you guys just don't create accessory for the hell of it. It's like a key moment in an episode, and the same thing with NECA. So there's sometimes when I open a figure, I'm like, I don't remember this accessory. It makes me want to go back and watch the episode. I'm like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, if we even talk about Prince Adam, right? And that's one that we released also. And we pulled like references from so many parts of the original cartoon, from the mini comics. I mean, in the original cartoon, there's a scene where his little gauntlet opens up and a flamethrower comes out of it. And we made that accessory just because it's like such a memorable moment for like as a Prince Adam fan. Yeah. And even in the cartoon, he uses a little freeze gun, a little freeze ray that and we included that in there. And those two masks are from the masks of power that are in the mini comic. And that's something that he discovers in the mini comic. So you can actually put him on his head and he can wear it if you want to display him that way, or not. You can just kind of leave him as is. But yeah, and then even the harness is a throwback to the mini comic, because in the mini comic he has that design as part of his costume. In the original cartoon he doesn't. So we decided, well, we need a harness for the sword, so let's kind of translate that design from the mini comic into a harness and go from there.
Well, that's like to 𝗕𝗄𝗧𝗏's point. Like every time I've seen you guys do an announcement, there's just so much detail in there, like you're mentioning, just from even if it may be something obscure that somebody doesn't remember, somebody else remembers, and so when you see that and you're like, well, wow, yeah, look at that, they added this, they added that, or this particular head sculpt or this expression, like it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. That's what turned me on originally to the X-Men. 𝗕𝗄𝗧𝗏? No,
those two masks, like those when I was like, I don't remember those from the cartoon. I had to like
the little mini comic that came packed in. It's the most badass version of Prince Adam I've ever seen. Like it still has the charm and the 80s vibe, because I think there's a temptation when you go like really badass to like give him more of a cropped haircut or whatever it is, but this just feels like that perfect balance.
Yeah, and we had our in-house sculptor Alex, who was on your show a few weeks ago. We gave him this to tackle, and he did a great job. And our designer Emiliano Santolucia, the task was, hey, we want to keep the spirit of Prince Adam's outfit the same, but I want to update it with some flourishes and stuff. So we added the gold trim. We added like these little puffy parts here on the chest and on the shoulder pads, just little things like that to where like from far away it's like an instantly recognizable silhouette, but when you get up close you're like, oh man, like they actually like updated this they put thought into this update. It's not just recreating the plain pink shirt from the show, right? Like,
right. Exactly. I do real quick if I can. Do have a couple of super chats, man. $20, my man, from Rock'emon Chris, my man. He said, question 1, when the San Diego Comic-Con's items ship? And 2, when can we expect our 6-scale animated Batmobile? And is there an expected announcement date to unveil the new license Mondos has acquired so that we can plan out our purchases? Damn, Chris, big question. I do appreciate the super chat. Anything you guys can say on any of that?
Yeah, the best way to find out when things are shipping is to go to mondoshop.com, view the product pages, I think, for in the collectible section, and just click on it, and it's going to tell you when the estimated shipping date is. Every one of them are a little bit different. For the Space Godzilla, for example, those will be shipping in the next couple of days to a week. But some of these 6-scale figures, you're looking at like a couple months to like maybe sometime in the fall. So yeah, I would just check mondoshop.com and it'll give you the estimated shipping dates there. 6-scale Batmobile, dude, that'd be
right.
Incredible.
I'm glad someone asked.
You're talking about doing something crazy and something big.
Crazy. That would be like the size of my desk.
And the Batmobile is a big thing now in the 6-scale community.
Put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see if anybody who would actually be down for a 6-scale Batmobile. We'd be down to do it. It's always a question.
I'm pushing 1 right now, dude.
Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. And because that's something I would kill to see, dude.
I already got the figures to go with it, so I'm ready for that.
Dude.
And and to speak to our shipping times, one of the cool things about Mondo is we don't we wait until things are already like rolling in production, etc., before we start taking our pre-orders. So unlike some other 6-scale companies out there, you don't usually have to wait 2 years to get your figure.
Yeah. We kind of bake in that time and make sure that we're not letting folks wait too long. It's a reasonable amount of time, usually for our 1/6. And then what was the third question? The third question was
when do we announce
there's
our
so
new
many
licenses?
ones spamming the chat. I can't.
I think PowerCon, if we're going to be at PowerCon and we're going to have a panel there, and I think that's going to be the time where we're going to make some announcements for some upcoming stuff. Hopefully, if we're
fingers crossed.
If we're allowed to say is always a caveat.
If not PowerCon, what would be the next one? Would it be New York Comic Con? If not PowerCon?
Yeah. The next one would be New York, where we would make some.
Okay.
Yeah, we are really like ready to rock on a couple new things, but we're waiting on the lawyers. So once the lawyers finish filling out the paperwork and getting everything signed, then we can talk about it. But we are like, we got the wheels in motion on a couple cool things that we can't announce yet. But I think anybody watching this stream, assuming where your hype and fandom is, you'll be super hype about what we talk about.
Dude, awesome. I can't. Yeah. Actually, I have a tip as well. $10 tip from Toy Box, dude. Thanks, my man. He said, haven't seen the MacReady figure on display in a while. Has it been canceled?
No.
And I will say, you guys got me with the 𝗕𝗓𝗏. After seeing him, I went ahead and ordered 4 X-Men figures.
Awesome. Dude, I told you that was going to happen, Hector. I told you, dude.
Yes. I mean, so MacReady, I can just say it. We had him on display at Frightmare, and
Texas Frightmare.
Texas Frightmare a few months ago, and we heard some of the feedback that people were giving us on the head sculpt, and we went back to sculpt on it, and I can say that probably at PowerCon we'll have the new head and the new body, everything on display there at PowerCon in the next couple of weeks. If not, but it's still slated to be something that we're gonna release this year.
Yeah, it's still happening.
So I guess that the reality of that is that we do listen, right?
Yes.
No, of course.
We get feedback and we see what people are saying. Like if it's within our ability to make some changes, we're gonna do.
Yeah. I mean,
that's important.
And a lot of people were hyped on it as it was. Believe me, at Texas Frightmare, I think we could have successfully released it, but there were a few comments and we're like, fuck, let's see if we can do something here, because you only get to do it right one time, right? You only get one chance to do it. You have some time to rebake and do a few things here and there, and that's fine. Delays happen, but the release is only one time, so hopefully people will be stoked on the.
Yeah, I think
I'm excited.
I mean, it looks incredible. I've seen the painted prototype now, and it's really cool. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Me neither. Because I'm a big 80s guy.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
One
saw
of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Dude, both that you guys are doing is awesome. What they live as well. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, man. And it's cool because it's not from any animated shows, so that's what kind of struck me a little too, because I'm like, oh, okay, so you guys have some John Carpenter stuff. You're kind of going outside of the animated realm, which means there's obviously more down the road.
Yeah. I mean, look,
right? I mean,
Megan, the big
I mean, we had Megan up on display, Nada from They Live, like you said, and like we've done, we did the Creature from the Black Lagoon before. We're excited to get back into Universal Monsters at some point, hopefully. So yeah, man. I mean, we feel like there's an open lane.
Sabertooth.
Yeah, right. That's it. We feel like there's an open lane for realism specifically in that genre that you're talking about, like that fun 80s horror. And
yeah. I mean, the cool thing about being able to expand into other licenses that we didn't have access to before is being able to play in that sandbox of doing more realistic stuff and kind of throwing our hat in the ring in terms of doing some cool 1/6 scale property, or properties in 1/6 scale that other people haven't done. So MacReady, again, I think will be the first time it's ever been out. I mean, a long time ago, I think it was PCS had announced it, but it never went to market, right? They had showcased it many years ago. And then same with 𝗦𝗓. 𝗦𝗓 would be the first 1/6 scale 𝗦𝗓. 𝗦𝗔𝗩 obviously is going to be the first 1/6 scale 𝗦𝗔𝗩. And that was something that we're super excited about, right? I mean, we're going to beat everyone to it. 𝗦𝗔𝗩 is one of those properties I think is just going to, people are going to be really stoked on.
Well, and there's a market there, like you guys mentioned, for that genre. That's not. I mean, Sideshow has done some stuff here and there,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like who else outside of customs. It's
Trick or Treat Studios does some of them too.
Yeah, Trick or Treat will do a little as well. So it's kind of sparse, I think. I mean, in comparison, right, to everything else.
Yeah, and there's like tons of characters out there that I personally want. So, I think it comes down to that. And once you get into 6 scale collecting, you really want to keep that scale. It just feels so rewarding. And there are so many moments, I should say, in film history and TV history that are still up for grabs that would be a blast to work on.
Undercats, maybe.
Yeah. That's one we've been trying to get for a long time. So, I mean, here's
like trying to get, or like we have it, but we're saying we're trying to get it and we're just being coy.
Or still trying.
Still trying. Yeah. So
still trying.
One of those where if we get it, it'll be amazing. It'll be something that we will be so stoked on.
We're big fans.
Yeah.
I think it fits your guys's, like when I think it in my head, I'm like, oh, well, that'd be Mondo.
Right.
Like just straight up. Like that's what it's synonymous in my head now because of the X-Men line, the Masters line, the animated series line. I'm like, well, why not? Like and I think you guys would knock it out of the park.
Well, and what's cool about, exploring the animated stuff, right, is like, for example, with 𝗦𝗢𝗠, we stay true to the show and the cartoon, the comics, the history of the figures, all that stuff, but we also update it, right? We add our own design flourishes. We make it almost like if this was a live action 𝗦𝗢𝗠, what would it look like? And that's kind of what we go into it as. Whereas like with X-Men, we're trying to bring it straight out of the screen. Same with Batman, right? Because those animation styles were so iconic. Right. So you want to capture. You don't want to mess with that too much.
Yeah.
But something like Thundercats, like that could leave the door open to either way, right? Like you could go and update the designs a bit while staying true to the original, or you could go straight cartoon. So, yeah.
Yeah, we love the opportunity to be able to get creative, like our Masters line shows. We are loyal. There's a lot of tradition there, tons of Easter eggs, but there's that Mondo glow up that we give some of the characters, and I hope that we'd be able to do that more often.
I would love to see Mondo tackle 𝗕𝗑𝗔𝗓 cartoon, the 𝗕𝗑𝗔𝗓 Joe movie, Nemesis Enforcer Globulus. Oh man, that'd be cool.
Well, if I can, because I know we have this booth tour here. But before, I don't even want to push play. I can't even push play, dude. Because
Why?
Because this fucking 𝗕𝗓𝗏 blew my mind. I was just hanging out. I remember what I was doing, and the picture popped up on social media.
Look at it like an ensemble. Look at this group right here. Because this is what I try to tell people.
I am.
We talked about this the last time I was on. I'm like, dude, I'm proud of each figure. Each one of them stands apart and stands alone for sure. But I knew this was going to happen. When the characters start coming out to fill out the line, you get those different colors popping in. You suddenly start to realize, like Rob said on that episode, that the tableau, the grouping is the money. And that's why that one guy said, hey, that 𝗕𝗓𝗏 made me go out and buy 4 figures. Dude, that's the thing. It's like they're awesome on their own, but you get the squad together and it feels like they just jumped out of the screen. It feels right.
Dude.
Yeah.
But one thing you guys are doing correct. I'm sorry, but real quick. One thing you guys are doing correct is in the 1/6 scale community, or actually in the companies, they don't really do villains that much. And you guys are doing the villains, and that's what most people want. I love the villains.
Villains are the best way to go. I mean, they just always end up looking the coolest, right? So,
yeah, they have more personality.
I mean, obviously with X-Men, the roster is so enormous, right? Yeah. So, but we had to there's some times where we're like, dude, we're big Sabretooth fans. Like, we got to do it. 𝗕𝗓𝗏
me too.
At the top of our list of like, hey, if we ever this is the, like Peter's saying, this is the one chance to do it. Like, let's just do Omega Red, man. It's like, he turned out so amazing.
I mean, you're right, because it's so. I'm like, my brain's trying to wrap around it because I'm thinking like ahead. I mean, you could still do to blob and
paint application there.
You could, yeah, but I mean, then you've got like Pyro. You know, you could do the Brotherhood. I mean, you have your Magneto, your Sabretooth, this Omega Red. I mean, and then of course the X-Men and any other, right? Because you can do any of the. I'm assuming anything from that line. So there's a lot of guest characters and
X-Men the animated series, right? So I mean, it's so many. You know, I know Peter loves Colossus, right?
I love Colossus.
We would love to eventually get to, right? Colossus. I want to do Nightcrawler.
Oh, I love Nightcrawler.
His look in that show was great. And then Mr. Sinister is one that's like obvious. Like he would have such a cool look.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Can I get like a proper Cable?
Right.
Oh, good one.
Cable looks cool too in that show.
I mean,
right height. He has to be the right
Cable,
height.
like
right height, thickness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you guys already got me, but like, if you give me a Cable, like.
That's the thing about this line that I tell people all the time, and I'm not even saying this like to sell it. I don't think I have to. Like, the product speaks, but I really do think that some of the figures that you can still get right now on our site are going to be the chase later when the line starts to fill up more, because people will start seeing those promo pics, because we're going to put together some cool promo pics that's got everybody in it. And then you're going to start to see, I missed so-and-so. I need to get so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just put that out there, like, word to the wise, as a collector who's been burned or who has sat on the fence and then regretted it later. When you see these things in hand, and look, you can check my Instagram, Attack Peter on Instagram. I have a booth tour that I gave Jim Lee, and I handed the Omega Red. Yeah, and I handed the Omega Red figure to Jim Lee, who designed the original figure. And I go, dude, look at this. And he was like, dude, it paused him because these figures are heavy, substantial. The articulation's awesome. The joints are strong. It encourages you to pose it however you want, set it up. It's going to be one of those things that people go back and look for the original Wolverine, you know, when they can't get Magneto anymore, or even when they can't get Jubilee, who I think is the #1 sleeper figure in the whole line, Gambit, right? So like those will be chase figures. I mark my word, dude. As someone who collects figures, mark my words, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we saw something happen similar with our Motu line when we first started it like 7 years ago, right? It was like, now all those figures that we've released from back in the day, those are all like, they're chases, right? They're people trying to get them off of, you know, eBay or whatever. And
yeah.
I want that merman.
Well, and that was my problem, because I grabbed Wolverine, and then I was like, oh shoot, like I need to grab more, and I've just been having like, because you know, that's the problem is too, is like we're all over the place, or at least a lot of people that tune in the 1/6 world. We're like, oh no, I'm being stretched like every which way, and I'm like, but I don't want to miss these because it's so important to me, you know, the animated series. Yeah, particularly X-Men. I mean, I love everything else, but X-Men is like, that's my jam. It's always been. So it's like seeing this brought to life is just amazing.
You know, it'd be awesome. I don't know if we can do this, so I'm just throwing this out there. Hector doesn't even know I'm going to say this. It would be awesome if we could do a 1/6 scale arcade cabinet of the X-Men game, and then have it like as an accessory for them, like in your collection.
Oh wow, that's very meta.
Yeah, right. It'd be rad.
Well, it's got to be the 6-player arcade.
That'd be cool. Jubilee too.
You know, the whole 6-player one, the big one.
Yeah.
And what's cool is like, even like, you know, we're able to do some alternate colorways that weren't necessarily in the show, right? So with our Magneto exclusive for Comic-Con, it was more of like a comic book kind of paint app rather than the cell shading and all of that stuff. That's
right. I noticed that.
Yes, because we just want to, you know, we've heard some fans be like, oh, I don't know about the cell shading. I just want like a plain figure. I love X-Men, but I don't like cell shading. So we did give that option, and you know, it seemed to be well received. I don't know if we're going to do it with every figure, but it's just, you know, luckily we're able to do some alternate takes. Like, and with Wolverine, we were able to do the brown suit, and the brown suit was never in X-Men animated, right? So we're hoping to do some cool stuff like that moving forward.
Well, I think that's actually really cool because you're right. There wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's a brown suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
I was just checking that.
With that trap draw, I know it's a PowerCon. Is it gonna be available online too? Because I'm not gonna be able to make it to PowerCon. Okay, all right. Because I missed the time.
It'll be at PowerCon. People who are at the show will have first dibs to pre-order it there, and then whatever's left over will go up online afterwards. That's what we did when we were at PowerCon a couple years ago. We did that with a classic 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗛 also, and there were still plenty that went up online for the following week.
It's badass.
Yeah, I just love those colors together, man. They just look at that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
There's something about when you have the right colors on your shelf, because a lot of figures that I collect, I don't even realize it till they're all together. It's all like blacks and browns and grays and shit. And then so when you get these, they just go.
They pop. They
really do. Man.
They do pop.
It's such a it's like when you get a car wash and all of a sudden like your 5-year-old car feels brand new again. You know what I mean? It's like these things are so like they make your collection look awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Look at that handsome stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at these two fine gentlemen.
Yeah, look at us there just being those are like the last day of the con.
Like, yeah, fried.
This one's gonna be tough because I want that because now I got the Skeletor, but I missed out on
Battle Cat.
Yeah.
That means He-Man's
awesome. I think Panther turned out way cooler than he looks like Battle Cat. Battle Cat looks great, but like I just love how like the purple with the green armor.
I love those horns, dude.
The horns,
like the horns,
like ginormous. Like they're it's huge.
Where did that design come from, Hector? Because that predates me.
The overall Panther design?
The horns. The horns
are an homage to the original the Four Horsemen Panther that came out long ago. So it's kind of like a throwback to that.
That's huge.
And we like redesigned the helmet portion of it ourselves and all that, but yeah.
Hector almost clocked himself right there, rotating the bed.
I know, almost fell. Yeah.
So the shoulder joints look pretty good, so it's gonna hold. It should be able to hold that over time.
I saw some people talking shit on one of the boards saying like, "Oh, over time it's gonna slouch." Dude, wait till you get it in hands and you can see.
Yeah, it's gonna be full ratcheting joint and all that. I mean, you know, gravity it will play
over.
Gravity will do its thing over time, sure, but
the aliens will be here before then. So
hey, look, they just announced
hot release.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
They'll be here. 6-scale aliens coming soon.
Dude, so with wings like that, and I know you actually kind of have to go in a minute, huh?
I gotta bounce in a couple minutes, but I gotta throw another question.
Okay. Well, shit, there's just so much here, but I would say
Hector will stay, and I'll come back if you guys are still going. I know sometimes you guys go for a while, so I'll come back.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, let me know.
I'm good until top of the hour, and that's mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wait, that's in what 15 minutes?
20 minutes. We got 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to get that fancy talk at top of the hour.
For a minute, I was like, wait a minute.
I know. I can tell you got
with wings like that, though. I mean, Archangel's not really outside of the realm of possibility. Then
nothing is, right? I mean, that's kind of like something like Archangel, man. Like,
I mean, fuck, you can do Archangel, and then you can do like an angel like variant or so. Oh my god,
Archangel is on my personal list. Like, would be number 2, like of characters. Archangel, dude. Yeah, for sure.
With wings like that too. I know it'll be hard.
I'll catch you guys in a minute. I got a bounce, and then I'll come back if you guys still going.
Okay. No, right. I appreciate it. I appreciate
Hector, don't leak anything.
Yeah, I don't leak at all.
This is your chance to get him to leak something.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Right. No, we'll talk it a little, dude. That's awesome. Thank you.
I can't help those wings that give me gargoyle vibes, man. If you guys were to get gargoyle, I know NECA's killing it with gargoyles, but that'd be another.
Cool I want to do them like exactly like just come out of the show, right?
Yes.
You know, NECAs are amazing. I love the route that they took, which was like, let's do them more realistic anatomy, more realistic paint, but stay true to the show. For us, if I were to do it, it would be like stay true to the show, just like we do with our Batman stuff. And Phantasm, dude, it's never been a 1/6 scale Phantasm ever.
No.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, we are so excited to do Phantasm, one of the best animated movies of all time. So
I agree.
And I can't give you a
Gargoyles.
scoop because we did let people
man.
know, but you know, this is a spoiler, but it does come with an alternate portrait that is I don't know if people haven't seen the movie, it's a spoiler, but it's you know, the alternate identity Phantasm. It does come with that.
That is
awesome.
So if you do, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying you also have these kind of like these black and white noir style variants here as well. Was that just exclusive for the con?
No, we were just revealing it. So basically, we're doing some fun stuff with Batman animated series. We were just, you know, chatting like, oh, how cool would it be to see like black and white versions of these and make them really, really limited edition chase figures for this line. And so we're gonna start it off with a Batman Noir. We're calling it Batman Noir, and it's going to be black and white. So yeah, you can see Mr. Freeze will be our black and white Mr. Freeze, and it just turned out really awesome. And if you see them all together, like, you know, it'll be Batman Freeze, and we've released a Joker and a Harley. So, you know, after this wave of Batman and Freeze, and you can expect like Joker to be in black and white and Harley to be black and white also, and just like be like just cool chase figures.
No, those are really cool. I remember, I don't remember who made them, but they were small scale statues. Oh God, who made them?
You're talking about the DC collectible, the DC Direct ones, right? Where they were like
15
Batman,
years ago or something.
Batman black and white, or black, something like that. It was
like a Joker that was black and white.
Yeah,
Batman.
All the artist editions, right? There was like a Jim Lee version. There was the
Mignola
version. There was the McFarlane version, right? That came out a few years ago. So yeah, that was a cool line.
Yeah, and I like seeing stuff like that. Just, you know, alternate, you know, different, because there's something for everybody there. If people want that's something that's different, you know, it's a unique variant. Yeah, it's just really really cool. I do have actually a few super chats here, guys.
Yeah,
if I can.
I should get this by the end of the month.
Yeah.
My Space Godzilla.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Looks nice.
We'll ship soon.
I think my girlfriend might take it from me because she saw it. She's like, "Oh, it looks pretty." I'm like, "No, it's mine. It's mine." No. Yeah. How about the Aztec one? Is that gonna be for sale sometime soon?
Yeah. Hopefully, I think it'll be pretty soon in the next couple months here.
Wow. Okay, that's not that. And this year's going by so quick.
It is, man.
It's already
Halloween's almost here.
Yeah, it's insane. But if I can, Jedi Chris, thank you, my man, for the $5 super chat, man. He says, I can't wait for the next wave of Mondo Marvel Steel books. Any updates on that?
I don't personally have any updates on it, just because that's not I'm not in that department, so I'm not really sure what they're working on. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's fair. No, that's an honest answer. I appreciate it. I do. And 16 Shape, my man, as well. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says, any chance for an Arnold Conan?
Oh man, I would love to do that. Yeah, that would be so cool. Not in the cards at the moment, but I would definitely never turn it down if that was something that we could do. I'll say that.
That would be awesome. And Chris, again, thank you, my man, for the $5 super chat. Says, because Mondo is getting into realism, would you consider bridging the two worlds? Eddie and Roger 2-pack from Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Cool World?
Yes.
Yeah,
Roger
absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, if we were able to do that, you're way ahead of us. I mean, because that is something we've discussed. Like if there is the opportunity to do both together in like a single pack, where you have like a realistic 1/6 scale that comes with a cartoon looking one, like totally.
That would be cool. That's actually a really good question, Chris.
Yeah, Roger Rabbit is like perfect for that. You know, you could do you would just do the two, Roger and what was his name?
You gotta do his wife though. You gotta do his wife.
Yeah. You could do
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, you gotta do Jessica.
Damn.
Real quick, if you guys ever do tackle gargoyles, please don't do what NECA does and have us buy the figure separate to get the folded wings with the figure. Just please include it with the figure.
We would definitely include it.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. That's such an iconic way to I would display them that way with the folded wings, because it just looks so cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just looking at, that would be really really cool. Yeah, because that's a problem too. Like, you know, to P-Rock's point, like you don't want to go out and have to get something different in addition to what you've already got. You know, it's kind of nice to just, hey, this is the package. I've got everything complete. That's the way to go. Let me see here. Denobi in the house. What is it? My friend, he says, Roger and Eddie Valiant would be a day one pre-order.
Yeah. Imagine then all the accessories from that you could do. You could do like the what was the toxic waste that what was it called? Dip. The dip.
Yeah, dip.
Do that little shoe that gets dipped and
oh my god, that would be so cool.
I remember that it was just like the little shoe gets like melted and he's like screaming. I was like, oh my god, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this
but there's so much cool stuff you can pull from that movie.
I want to bring.
I like that Peter, the 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗘𝗢𝗘, the mechanical, the shiny one.
Yeah. It's great that we're able to do some cool creative stuff with Toho and their Godzilla stuff. It's something that no one is doing it, right? I mean, and that's something that's special about what Mondo is doing with Godzilla is that we're working with some of our artists, redesigning them, and like that asset Godzilla. I mean, the fact that it exists, right? And it's like an actual officially licensed Godzilla product that we're releasing is, I think, kind of speaks to where Mondo, can like take things and bridge that gap between like what's iconic and then bringing in a really well-respected artist to do his own take on it or her take on it.
I fell asleep on that one. I'm mad about that. I know Big Bad had them up for pre-order, and I was gonna pre-order, and they sold out already too.
So yes, waiting to get that Megan. So that's an interesting. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, the minute we got the chance to do it, I jumped at it, and I was like, we're gonna fast track it. I knew exactly who to contact to get it all done, and it just worked out. And yeah, the goal was to have it, shown off at Comic-Con and shown off as like, hey, we're doing this. It's kind of out of nowhere, and it's still a fresh property, right? Megan just came out. But it already has a solid cult fan base.
Do I think the way you guys do colors with the X-Men movies, you guys will kill the Killer Clowns if you guys got that.
Oh, license. I know. We talked about that. We've talked about Killer Clowns for sure.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Movies. I hated that movie as a kid. It's funny. No, it's good though. No, that would be actually really, really cool. That would be kind of cool. I wouldn't get them myself, but that's me. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I mean, I don't particularly care for clowns either. So
yeah. Like I didn't get either Pennywise.
I love
either Hot Toys or In Art. I was like, nah, I'm good. I like the movies, but I was like, I don't need that in my collection.
For sure,
it's too creepy for me.
I like the creepy stuff. So it was cool.
But
I know.
I mean, we're definitely trying to get into the horror stuff, right? I mean, Mondo
of course.
And horror, it's kind of synonymous. We have good, strong horror roots overall. So to be able to start to explore that in our collectibles is really exciting. So yeah, Megan, 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗢𝗎, MacReady. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to be doing with horror in 1/6.
Yeah, but see now with MacReady, and 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝗖𝗎, they're more classic 80s films. I mean, is that still kind of the direction you want to go, or is it kind of bouncing around? Because I mean, with Megan, that's fairly new, so I wasn't sure if you guys are kind of lean more towards one kind of decade or just pull from everything.
We pull from stuff that we're fans of. That's the reality, right? If we're passionate about the property, we're passionate about what we're doing, then that's what's going to come out. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. When we lean heavily into 80s horror, right, and stuff like that, my personal tastes go that way. So that might be what you see more of. And then classic horror too, especially with the Universal monsters. Like, we're all big fans of all of that here. I know Peter's a huge fan of all of those. I would love to do Invisible Man, a Frankenstein, revisit our Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I need that one. Yeah,
we did that years ago, before we were even expanding into like horror. It was just kind of like a one-off, like before the pandemic, right? It was like 2019 when it came out. So
yeah.
I think a good refresh would do it well, and to just kind of kick off more Universal monsters for sure.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Chance, all right. I know you guys have the black and white one still available in the store, but I want the green color.
Yeah, the green, for sure.
Classic, yeah. El Professoro, my buddy Mario, he couldn't be here today at this time, but he did say, I walked by the booth, I saw a line for something, I just couldn't attempt. Comic-Con was overwhelming.
Even the sentence sounds tired.
Dude, the Mondo booth was out of control. There were so many people. Wednesday night was like a mad dash of just people trying to get in, get our posters, get our records, get the toys that we had there available. And then even when we started handing out wristbands, like they were gone within like 5 minutes. Like for the whole day, like every day. So it was pretty much a mad dash the entire time. So I get it. I get the whole thing about about it being overwhelming. That's how I felt the entire week.
Yeah, I wanted to go, but then like I said, I'm going to be at the TrekCon next week, so I was like, well, I can't do both. It's just too much. Yeah. Like it's like back to back, basically. I'd have like a few days, and then But yeah, it looked like you guys had a great time.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So there.
Someone just said 1/6 scale NES Jason. I'm all for that. I'm all for a pink and turquoise Jason 100%.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're right.
Wow. Yeah, he's got like a purple jumpsuit. Yeah. He's got the turquoise skin, right? Or no, he's got the pink skin with the turquoise mask and the machete.
Yeah,
dude, I forgot about that game. You just brought it back. Like, whoa, yeah, because he was all colored weird.
Yeah, dude, he was like all fluorescent colors. It was amazing.
Wow. Okay, that would be cool in figure form.
Yeah.
That Juggernaut. So is it gonna be a new line of the soft vinyls for the X-Men cartoon or the X-Men, or is this like a one-off?
Yeah, no. I mean, we so last year we kind of started it with the Man-Thing. I don't know if you guys remember that.
By
James Groman. So that was kind of like a soft kickoff for Marvel soft vinyl figures that we're going to be doing. So Juggernaut's kind of basically a follow-up to that, where it's like we're just looking for like the big chunky characters. That's what our Magneto sold out right there in that moment was, I think, in that clip. But yeah, Juggernaut.
There he is.
Yeah, he's just a big piece of soft vinyl. They're going to be very limited in nature, just because that's how soft vinyl goes. But I think we announced at the show that we're going to be doing the Colossus variant also.
You'll do like the Colossal Knot?
Yeah, the Colossus arms and stuff like that. So it's just fun stuff you can have with soft vinyl. And then in the back there we have Werewolf by Night, which is another piece by James Groman, which is kind of goes in with Marvel soft vinyl. But yeah, we definitely want to keep exploring. There's so many cool characters you can do.
It's good practice for a 1/6 scale cartoon Juggernaut.
For real, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. But so the thing is, though, because of that, will they just be kind of like as is because of the material? Like no kind of swaps or anything like that?
It's there'll be some swaps here and there. But since it's soft vinyl, it's very, very straightforward when it comes to like articulation. It's like 5 points.
I'd imagine. I mean, it's Juggernaut, so I mean, damn. Yeah, that does look cool. That does look really cool.
That's more something like you have on your desk and stuff. It's not more like a pulls in your collection.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a big soft vinyl collector, and those are the ones I pick up the most off of my desk and off my shelf, because they're so like this thing, for example, here, I have it right in front of me. It's like this giant shark from Sunguts. And it's just like, it's just fun to play with them. I don't have to worry about, it breaking or something like that. Or, it's just, I love playing with soft vinyl. So when we get to do soft vinyl, anything, it's always.
That one, man.
Yeah, that's James Groman, soft vinyl Godzilla. So.
Wow. Hey, thank you so much, my man Chris. Real quick though, $5 super chat says, last one question for Hector: are you a fan of the greatest 80s action hero of all time, Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja? Hell yeah.
Dude, I used to watch those American Ninja movies when I was a kid all the time. It was like I think it might have been one of my earliest exposures to ninjas. And that's kind of weird to say that out loud, but I think it was like all of a sudden.
Well, we had, I think in the, in the 80s and early 90s, well, especially like, mid late 80s was like, it was so weird that us as like an entire generation, that's what we just massively exposed to ninjas of like all kinds. It was super big back then, man.
Yeah, man, and that's why like Snake Eyes was such a big character, right? For me, G.I. Joe, like the reason I got into G.I. Joe when I was a kid was because of Snake Eyes.
Yep, Storm Shadow Snake Eyes.
Yeah, Storm Shadow Snake Eyes. They just look cool. They were the coolest one out of everybody. There's a guy. There's Shipwreck. He looks like a sailor. It's like, oh, cool. He's a sailor. That's right on. But there's Snake Eyes, and he's like, man, this is a ninja.
Yeah, he was so cool, man.
He's got guns. He's got a wolf with him that he hangs out with. He rides motorcycles. It was cool.
Yeah, and
that's why Firefly was popular too. Firefly looks like a ninja. I think that's why he's popular also.
Firefly, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a ninja. He has like the mask and everything.
All of them, yeah, like Slice and Dice. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then of course, we had, shortly thereafter, Mortal Kombat came out.
Oh,
and then it was just, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and it was all everything. Like
all ninjas.
Yeah, man. Wow. Speaking of, what are those busts behind you?
Oh yeah. So back in the day, I used to work at Pop Culture Shock Collectibles, PCS, and we made those. We had the Mortal Kombat license. I don't know if they still have it to this day, but we had it. These are the life-size busts that we did for Mortal Kombat X. Yeah, Mortal Kombat X. Yeah. I sculpted these out of clay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I didn't know that. I got rid of them because they're just too big. But I actually had the third scales. I had Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile.
Oh, the PCS ones?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I'll send you some pictures. I had them in here, and I was like,
oh man, I sculpted the Reptile.
Wow.
Yeah. I sculpted Reptile.
See, that would have been kind of cool. I did
the base. I sculpted the base for the Sub-Zero one that you have. Scorpion was before my time, but yeah, I was able to do Reptile, and then I did the base for Sub-Zero. And then if you collected the other ones, I worked on a lot of the Mortal Kombat line. Like I did a little bit on the Goro, Melina, all that kind of stuff.
Damn, that's so cool. I didn't know. Are you excited for the new game?
Yeah, God, it looks so good.
Yeah. They're bringing back people too.
Yep.
Like Kata and some other. I was like, whoa, okay.
I just want the option to be able to wear the classic costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's inevitable, dude. That's inevitable.
I hope that's in the cards, because otherwise, the direction of the game, like the graphics look incredible. And,
yes.
And the levels look so cool. It has a different vibe. It's not all like torture chambers kind of thing. It's like, there's got like these beautiful like places where you could fight, but also like the dark and gritty stuff. Like it looks really dope.
Yeah, dude, it looks because I've been every Mortal Kombat since the first one. I mean, even the weird era, I wasn't a fan of like Deadly Alliance and Deception, and you remember that PS2 era,
Xbox era, N64 era. Yeah,
the live action Sub-Zero. Remember that one? I forget what it was called. Like the cinematics were live action acting and stuff with Sub-Zero, and it was horrible. I forgot what it was called. That Sub-Zero solo game.
4,
the solo game, right? That where
it's
kind of like you're like wandering around as Sub-Zero. Yeah, I remember that.
That acting a massive.
Oh, the Mythologies game, the Sub-Zero Mythologies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was bad.
I highly doubt it, but if Ed Boon's out there listening, man, we need another Shaolin Monks, because that game was awesome.
That game was awesome.
With Kung Lao and Liu Kang.
All the stuff they've done in the recent years. I mean, I thought Mortal Kombat 9, X, 11 were all pretty solid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still have the 9 had I forgot who made them, but if you remember the style, I got the collector's edition. It came with a scorpion statue. That was a skin that was, I forgot the name of it though. It's very weird looking, like real stark lines and colors. And then later they added the DLC for Scorpion or Sub-Zero, and I think maybe Reptile in that style. I forgot what it's called. It's out in the other room, but it was pretty cool, and it came with the Mortal Kombat 9 Collector's Edition.
Yeah. I think I have I have a weird, vague memory of what you're talking about, but
yeah,
I
just
know
don't
exactly.
remember.
I just don't remember what the outfit was called or the skin or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like a real like kind of pointy-ish, almost hood. It's real. I'd have to look it up. I'll have to show you later. But man, yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Which is actually kind of funny. Blur Dad says, "How about a 1/6 Voltron Force?" Ooh.
No, I didn't like that. That's the car one, isn't it? Like the vehicles, Voltron Force.
Is that the vehicle one?
I think the Voltron Force is the vehicle one. I mean, some people liked it, but I was never a big fan.
It's funny because if you really did it in 1/6, like the lions would be like the size of like your entire room.
Oh yeah,
if it was huge. Like true 1/6, it's like they're like the size of a house.
Right. AZ Figs also
giant,
Mortal Kombat line.
I would love it.
I asked Peter this last stream, but he kind of avoided the question. And if you don't mind me asking, since you're kind of higher up in the chain of command, do you guys still have the Turtles license, or is there anything coming forward from you guys? Because I have the whole 1/6 scale you guys did for the original. I love those are my Grail figures, man.
They were so good. Do you have the Mousters?
No, I have the 2-pack. It came in a 2-pack. I didn't open it yet. I didn't open that one because I don't have space for it.
Out of everything that came out back in the day with the Mousters were my favorite. I was like, oh, perfect rendition of the Mousters. What can I say about that? All I can say is stay tuned.
Okay.
Well, that's so vague, and
I know, but that means this is like they said, there's a chance. That means there's a chance we're gonna get something.
You know what? That's what I say when people ask me about X06 stuff. I say literally that. I'm like, stay tuned. Like,
stay tuned. Yeah, I mean,
it's ambiguous. It's open to
It's been a while since they released the turtle. That's why I'm just getting a lot of people always reach out to me and say, "Hey, what's going on with the turtles? Is there a Splinter coming? Is there Casey? Is there Shredder? Is there Krang?"
Right.
Yeah. Definitely stay tuned. Yeah, I mean, hopefully in the near future, just in general for a lot of these new licenses that we're in the process of getting, we're gonna make some big announcements, and that'll be cool. That's all I can say.
I'll take that.
Take what you will from that.
Well, here's what I'm wondering about it, and guys, we'll probably wrap here because I know you got to go in a few minutes. But with more IPs, does that mean that production would be slowed down the more IPs are, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you had like 30 different IPs. I'm just throwing it out there. Then clearly like X-Men or Batman's would be much slower coming out. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, it all depends, right? On I don't know. A lot of people know this, but the Mondo Toys team is really small. I mean, it's really just like 4 people. Plus obviously we have support from the bigger Mondo organization and Funko obviously and all that, but the core team is a small team, and so yeah, it really just depends on what we decide to prioritize and all of that. But I would hope that we don't slow down some of the other lines that have an established fan base and that people are already like wanting the next one and the next one. So I don't see that being affected too much.
Okay, because that was just in my head I was thinking that, because I mean you get the X-Men, well, just these main 3, right? Masters, X-Men, and Batman particularly. I mean, I'm focusing mostly on X-Men for myself, but I mean I didn't think you guys were gonna do a Jubilee, for example, so right away. So that's why it's like, oh well, if you can just keep that momentum going, right? Because as you know, there's so much in the animated show. That's
what we're trying to do, man. We are trying to keep that momentum going with X-Men Animated. I mean, I made this. I told several people this at the show at SDCC because we weren't able to bring it, but Rogue is definitely in the pipeline, and it'll be something that we will hopefully have on display at PowerCon, so pictures will start to make its round. Yeah, man, like Omega Red. We have, and then Rogue would be next, and then we just want to keep hitting these beats for sure.
Gotta make an Apocalypse.
You got to, yeah. Yeah, he could be like, maybe 14, 15 inches tall.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be taller than a regular figure, but he doesn't have to be, gigantic, because, he'll grow and stuff. But I mean, a good like Hulk size, if you look in comparison. Yeah, 15, 16 inches. I think that would work.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny about Omega Red is that he actually stands at 13. Like, so he's bigger than the rest, because we are trying to take height from the show into account. So yeah,
Right.
you can imagine that like Apocalypse would probably be like 14 to 15 inches tall. He'd be a big one.
Okay, dude, I want him. I want him so bad.
Yeah, I can answer this one. Yeah, I mean, what's cool about PowerCon and what we typically do around PowerCon is that, you know, whenever we have any leftovers or warehouse finds or grails or whatever, that we typically take them to PowerCon. And we will have like it's almost not, you know, may not be the last chance to ever get it, but it's like pretty close to being the last chance for some of these figures. So, look who's back.
This guy.
Dude, you won't believe what I just did. I just want, you guys know Christian Harloff's channel, big thing. And all that. He's covering like the UFO and the UAP stuff nowadays a lot more. Is my you know, under Howard Stern is my number 2 fandom is anything UFO UAP. So I told him I'd jump on and talk for a little bit, and so we just ended that. So I'm back. More importantly, toys.
So, no,
I
was just
appreciate
saying
the bouncing. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, the question, Peter, was that you know, we're going to reissuing any of the older figures, and I said PowerCon is a perfect time to try to get access to some of those, because we do bring some of the older figures that we still have like a few left over,
which we keep for, you know, legit reasons, in case people get something broken or some whatever, we can replace it. So after a certain amount of time, you know, we feel like everyone's good, everyone's got their figures, and now we can make those available.
Yeah, so PowerCon's a good time to do that kind of stuff, but I think, you know, sometime in the near future we will be, you know, dropping those again, like whatever's left over back online. So you could maybe see Merman pop back up.
Oh yes,
or like Skeletor Revelation, or some of the other ones that have been sold out for like a year or more.
Yeah.
Well, that makes absolute sense, because I mean, I know a lot of people don't get that sometimes. I mean, in the 1/6, well, I don't know about every. Well, I'm sure there's other communities too, but I notice in 1/6, you know, people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they put," because some people just don't like that, right? They want, hey, this is mine, this is special. You snooze, you lose. This, aha, I have it.
I'm gonna say I hate that so much. I've said it on various shows, and I'm sorry to anybody who feels passionately about that, but I would just say personally, I've never purchased anything or refused to purchase something based on how easy it is for you to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I just like something and I buy it, and I buy it because I want the person who made it to make another one. And so when I have something like that, and I tell people, like, I just got this at an indie toy shop in San Diego, this old 10-year-old Swamp Thing figure. It was a con exclusive. Look at that thing. It's got like a rubber skin and all that. It's so cool, like a Bernie Wrightson. If this ever came, I tell all my friends about it who like it. And if they ever re-released it, I would tell all my friends, you can go get one now. And that's awesome. That's a cool thing. But to Hector's point, you know, we do want to honor the pack that we make with collectors. We're not trying to say it's limited, psych. So if it is limited, it is limited, you know. But just generally speaking, like, I hope people get to a point where that's not such a driving factor anymore, because the way companies like ours survive, the way all the companies that you like survive, is by people supporting it and getting into the lines and buying the lines deep into the characters. That's how it continues. You know what I mean? So be happy that new people get into the collection. Be happy that you're like the elder statesman of the community in your face group. And when there's an opportunity to bring new people in, believe me, that's good for you, because that's how you get that super obscure 1/6 Sauron figure that I'm desperate to make one day.
I mentioned that the other stream, Sauron, yo.
Top 5.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta, as a business, like as a fan, you want X, Y, and Z. And as a business, you got to make sure that even though you're doing those deep cuts, that the deep cuts are something that the rest of the community celebrates with you and wants to buy as well. So you balance that, like Wolverine, Magneto, Omega Red. Then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you can do those things if the community supports it. And let's say the community is this big right now and everybody buys it. Awesome. But what happens in 3 years when everybody proves all you hardcore collectors right? You have great taste. You knew cool shit before everybody else did. Yes. But now everybody else is here. Share it with them, because that makes us able to grow, expand, do more. It makes it possible for a new company to come up and try original, creative, crazy shit. So if you're a fan of toys and collectors, that's the attitude.
I'm with you guys.
we try to honor it as much as
Yes.
we can. And like we said, you know, sometimes it'll like whatever's left over for whatever reason pops up when we pop up at a show. That's like a special time for people to be able to get something right. So
it's also to reward the people who make that trek out to PowerCon, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you know, Andy over at Iconic, you know, he's doing the Street Fighter line, and Ken was up for PO, and because I heard people, I don't know who, but I remember people were like complaining because he's like, it's not out yet, pre-orders ended, but there was so much exposure with the announcement of Chun-Li and Akuma coming that he decided, hey, you know what, this hasn't quite gone into production yet. We're going to open it up again for another week for all the new people who didn't know about us. They can get in on the pre-order, and a lot of people were like losing their shit over it. And I was like, it's good. That's good news. It's not, so I'm with you. And especially on the sense of later on, right? Because you always make X amount of product and you have leftover for what exactly you're saying. Maybe there's some QC issues or something. Someone's got to swap, whatever. And now like months go by and you're like, okay, this figure's been out for a long time. We haven't, and we still have some in stock. Let's bring it to a con. Boom.
Well, that's why it's important that's why we want to do these shows and talk to the community. And that's why it's important, anybody who works behind the scenes, to talk about that stuff, because I think the community does want us to do well. I think that's why Hector and I are friends with people at Super 7 and NECA and all these Mattel, all these toy companies, and we want them to kick ass. When I see the 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘 from Super 7 come out, I want that thing to sell bajillion units, because that means the appetite's there, the community has grown, and then we can do crazier stuff than we've done. I want that ghost, from the HasLab to go crazy, because
I know it already hit its goal in like a couple days.
We celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we celebrate that. And also we come on these streams and when we talk to people at conventions, it's to humanize this whole thing, to break down that wall between the collector and the creators, and explain this is why the decisions get made. This is why sometimes things go wrong. And if you guys are fans of this and you want it to keep growing and to be strong, when things like that happen, dude, don't just not get upset at it. Share the link with your friends and get them to buy those figures. You know what I mean? That's how you do it.
Yeah, I agree. And pre-order, right? I mean, that's a big, well, you guys are a little bit unique in the sense that a lot of yours is mostly timed, you've got X amount of days, but I mean, still pre-ordering is very important for a business. I mean, it lets you, it gauges, the numbers for you guys. If you announce something and like 5 people order it, you're like, oh, maybe this isn't we're not going to do this.
Right. Because then the question is, do we spend our time continuing to spread the word about this thing that didn't pop off?
Like that IP or whatever.
Right. Or do we jump to the next thing that's going to be the next exciting hype thing? And so that's why the communities are so important. Like, everybody watching right now is so important, to this whole industry thriving. People at Comic-Con are so important. Like, Hector and I talked until we lost our voices. They came back and we lost them again. I'm not even exaggerating, because we want to make sure that everybody realizes and that everybody feels like they're heard and that they have their questions answered and that they realize that we listen to them. But the other side of that deal is grow this thing. Don't keep it. Don't be a gatekeeper. You remember being like 10 years old. I remember being 10 years old, going into my local comic shop, dude. And I just wanted a Marvel Series 2 trading card pack. That was my thing back then.
I used to go in. Mine, dude. So was mine.
Flare, man. The Flare is the Flare 94, 92.
I used to go buy those
masterpieces.
Yeah, those are so cool.
I was a little dork kid. I didn't have any older siblings or cousins to like teach me how to do things the right way or whatever. My mom would drop me at the shop. I'd get a pack of cards. I'd whoop everybody's ass in Mortal Kombat 2 because I was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, like, I remember some of the shop owners would talk shit to me, dude. And I was 10. And they'd be like, "You're buying that Spider-Man comic? Have you even read Watchmen?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm 10. You know what I mean?
Right? What the fuck am I reading Watchmen for at 10?
It's like, or like, "You're not doing this." And I'm like, dude, at the time I felt like an asshole. As a 10-year-old kid, I didn't know better. I wanted to please and impress the elder collectors or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now as an adult looking back, I'm like, not only did that suck, but I can't believe that's still going on, because
it's still a thing. Yeah.
So many people who do that must remember what it felt like to have it done to you. Don't be that guy. Grow the thing. Grow it. You know what I mean? Grow the thing so we can keep doing this, dude. You know, our streams, these streams are a celebration of all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's so awesome. Like before the stream went live, we're like, yo, 𝗕𝗏, that Godzilla statue behind you is so freaking awesome. Talking about this. It's the funnest thing to do. I could be sitting out with my hot wife on the couch right now and like just, you know, watching her play video games and like living my dream. But also this is what I love to do. So the more this grows, the more this can continue going. And we got this community really strong together. So yes.
Is that the PCS Ronin statue back there?
Yep.
Yeah, let's see.
That was cool, man. They're crushing it.
Shit, you got it? I wasn't even I was so busy. You got the
PCS.
deluxe.
I have, of course, man. I gotta have all 4 brothers. It will kill me. I mean, I know some collectors will get just Mikey only, but spoiler, that's Mikey. But I need all 4 turtles. I need all 4.
Yes, I love that statue. That's a standout piece.
Are those Berserk 3-0?
Yep, 3-0. Yep.
Yes. Oh, so
I'm big Berserk, Godzilla, and Ninja Turtles.
I knew you were getting it. I didn't know you were getting the deluxe, and I saw you posting.
I had to, man. I had to.
Dude.
Yeah, we're big Berserk fans here. If we ever get the chance to work on that.
Dude, that is so awesome.
Dude, if you guys ever get that.
Congrats, 𝗕𝗏. I didn't know. Yeah, that's badass. I didn't even see it there. It's here the whole time. I'm like, dude.
I'm late for work. Like ever since I got the Godzilla and Turtle one, I'm like late for work almost every day. Like I walk by the room and I get distracted. I'm like, oh my god, look at that! Like I see things that is even.
Your room looks like a mix of like the Sideshow compound, like the headquarters, and Wayne's World's garage. Like it's a perfect blend. That perfect vibe, dude. Like
you got the walls.
Yeah, the wood walls. I love that.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Awesome.
Man, I want to prove to you. Hector. Look.
Let's see.
Oh. I can't see the light. Oh, I can't see because the light is bright. But I got the 4 turtles are right there.
Oh, sick.
I gotta bring the light down. I'm sorry.
It looks like the cosmic cube. From this
Tesseract.
They have their own spot.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty awesome, dude. Oh my gosh. No,
somebody announced Rogue.
Wait, what?
Did somebody announce Rogue?
I mean, you told him not to say anything while you were gone, so
can't leave, bro.
We were talking Mortal Kombat, man. It was fun. We were talking about back in the day.
Anything we said at Comic-Con is already.
Oh, okay, we said that. Oh, fuck.
I said it.
Oh, okay. Sick.
It's because it was supposed to be there.
Did you tell him what happened?
Yeah. Oh man, we got the prototype in, and I was there was a little chip on the leg, so I was like cleaning it, I was sanding it. I was like, okay, cool. And then as I was doing it, I dropped it and it shattered.
Oh.
And I was like, great. So I guess Rogue is not coming to the show. So that's kind of every now and then in the behind the scenes, a little bit
how the
behind
sausage is made.
Trying to.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you guys can confirm this. I don't think it's that big of a deal myself, but I don't know. So you got the X-Men 97 coming soon on Disney Plus, right? Are you able to pull from that? And what I meant by that is like, it's for example, like you guys are going to make a Storm. Obviously it's going to happen. I know you guys are going to do it. Like, so, but in her, she's in that cartoon. She has the mohawk. That could be an extra head. Like you can incorporate like new stuff into it. You can pull from things like that to add.
It's hard to say without saying anything, I guess.
Oh, I see. No, I do that all the time. I'm very cryptic about a lot of things as well. So, but you know, it just
I guess my brain was running. It's another one of those where it's like, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay.
When you see some of the accessories that come with Rogue, it kind of, you're going to be like, oh, interesting that they were allowed to do that.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Rogue will answer a lot of questions.
Yes.
I got it.
Will she also have? I'm just curious. Will she have like an ungloved hand?
If I leave, Hector can answer so many questions.
I mean,
is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah,
we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it. I'm just wondering.
Just give it a couple of a month or so, and all will be revealed for Rogue.
All will be revealed. Okay.
Yeah, and it's there are some major like I can't say anything, but like there's a really cool difference about this figure that while it fits perfectly with the line, there's one special thing about it that stands apart.
1992 Marvel swimsuit edition robe.
I had the.
You remember? I know you guys
card,
remember those.
I remember they were
I know
all
you
on
guys
the
remember
beach.
those.
A picture of Logan with a hot dog stuck through his claw and he's eating it.
Yeah, man.
Bro,
those
Rogan
those
Sidelock, they brought me so many fond memories as a kid, man. So
Yeah,
many fond memories.
those were fun, man. And the other one was like 92 and 93, and then I don't know if they kept going. It's She-Hulk on the cover on one of them. Yeah, I remember those. Well, you got me thinking when we were talking about Marvel series. You know, remember like Marvel Series 4 had, well, I think 3 and 4 did it, right? Because you could put them in your sleeves, the 9 pack. But then they had the red foil cards of the 2099s.
Yep.
And then if you're lucky, you got those sideways hologram of Spider-Man and the Maximum Carnage. You know, I pulled one of those, man. Finally,
the first pack I ever opened had a Spider-Man hologram. It was Marvel
Why
Series.
Why you gotta tell me that? Like, what the fuck? Like, the first one.
It's the only good thing about being 5'5" is that I have leprechaun DNA, and so there's a lot of luck.
What?
Clover luck, the 4-leaf clover luck.
I bleed green.
Oh my gosh!
I never heard that one before. The leprechaun.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
oh yeah, the Flare Ultra X-Men swimsuit cards too. Yeah. Shoot, bringing me back. X-Force editions.
Yep, dude.
Right.
When 𝗕𝗔𝗓.
Did you guys cover the whole booth already?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, yeah, we kind of.
Juggernaut.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Nope, just checking. Good.
Yeah. We talked about.
I want to know more about the Azteca Godzilla. I want to know more about that.
The which one?
The Azteca Godzilla.
Oh, Urban Aztec, dude. Yeah. We paired up with Jesse. I mean, just in general, like our Godzilla line is so awesome because we have that soft vinyl stuff that Hector sculpts and paints up, and it's like closer to being on model, and it's traditional, and it harkens back to the classic Japanese soft vinyl figures. But Toho also lets us do artistic interpretations. You know, the James Groman Godzilla was gnarly. It just feels like something. It feels like my 90s memories. You know what I mean? Like my memories of my toys when I was in the early 90s, like Mad Balls and all that kind of stuff. But what it actually looked like was like these tiny little things. This figure feels like the memory of my toys in the 90s, the James Groman one. And then, you know, Jesse's, you know, is phenomenal, dude. It's like Hector and I were talking about it for a while. We're like, I don't know if they're going to approve this. This is way out there. And Toho approved it, and the sculpt looks so freaking good, even unpainted. And I told Hector, don't worry about painting it, bro. You've done too much. Just bring it unpainted. Everyone's going to love it. And he's like, yeah. But he's a savage. So he went up and painted it last minute. And thank God, because that thing looked like it was plugged in. It like a neon sign, bro. And it just, you could see it across the floor. It was like glowing and stuff. And so Jesse Hernandez, Urban Aztec, one of the nicest people you could ever meet. One of the most exciting artists. He's always like, he did a collab with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine recently. I mean, the guy is everywhere.
All the time. I mean, I don't know if you all, I mean, Sideshow actually released a lot of his like Star Wars takes.
And X-Men.
There was that Wolverine. He did the Batman. So you know, we've been wanting to work with him for a long time, and he's a big Godzilla fan. So that project's been like in the works for almost over a year of just trying to like get it off the ground, figure out if we can do it or not. Like, you know, is the licensor going to approve such radical changes? And then to finally see it come out and showcase it at one of the biggest shows in the world, right? And have it showcased there and see the response that it got. I mean, I shared it on my Instagram, and it was like more likes than I've ever gotten on anything. It was crazy.
Now, is that something we can see maybe the end of this year, or would that have to be like next year?
No, absolutely. I mean, in terms of going up for pre-order, it'll be in the next few months for sure.
Okay.
I don't want to sleep on that one.
No, that one's awesome,
cool.
man. And it's a big, beefy figure. Like the pictures kind of give you an impression of it, but when you hold it, it's like a chunk, dude. It's so good. So rewarding.
Dude, I think what's even cooler is what you guys are saying right there, like how you're surprised that, you know, you'll put something out there and then they approve it, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like from a creative standpoint, it's a cool feeling. Because you're like, wow, okay, they like this. You know, this is like what we're doing. It's not, you know, exactly how they had it, but you know, whatever your interpretation or your stylistic approach to it. And they look at it and they're like, oh yeah, this is great. We love it. Go ahead and do it. You know, I've had that happen with certain other things, you know, and you're like, oh wow, we can do that. Cool. because I figured like they look at it and they're like, well, we never did it that way, but damn, that looks pretty cool, and it's still the brand, so it, you know, people are gonna like it. Go ahead and go for it.
We're always about trying to take chances, right, and doing big swings, and I'm all about, like, you know, there's a ton of there's an oversaturation of product out there right now, right? There's like everything you can
tell me about it
exists as a toy, as a figure, whatever, right? So for us, we're always trying to find something new that hasn't been touched before. And with Godzilla, for example, we're working with Peter, his art style, with Jesse Hernandez, with James Groman, you know, maybe with some other artists, and then we're doing you know, takes that no other company is going to do, because this is what we're doing here. And then even with Motu, right, that's like our own spin on Motu, so it makes it unique. Yeah. Mondo, X-Men the Animated Series, we were the first ones to release anything for it. Like, what was it, 2 years ago, with the Wolverine on the bed, like the whole meme that we did like for Comic-Con a few years back. So we were the first ones to do anything for that, and that was my whole thing. I was just like, I want to do something with Marvel that no one else has done before. So, you know, now, you know, Hasbro has their smaller Marvel Legends figures of the show and all.
Yeah, but in 1/6 and this level of like care, and I'm not saying other companies don't have care in their product, but like what we're talking about earlier, you know, putting in like all these variations, the multiple sculpts of different, just as a fan, like, you know what I mean? Most people, like kids or whatever, they go to the store, they go buy a Wolverine figure. Oh, cool, Wolverine, right? But then what you guys are doing, like you just said, like the meme, you know, laying on the bed, you know, having the photo, all these Easter eggs that are, you know, the I don't say real fans, but the big hardcore fans who grew up with all this stuff. They're like, wow, I can't believe they added that. Like, that's cool. Or I remember that episode that was from, that accessory was from. I mean, and like,
there's some accessories that we've played around with some characters where it's like, I don't even know if anyone's going to know where this comes from, but I know where it comes from. and maybe one other person will, and they'll appreciate that we included it in there.
But that's cool too, because, you know, if you're a fan, you're like, what is that? Like, I don't remember the mini masks. I mean,
we're saying that.
I don't remember that. You know, so like, I'm here at the company, and so I went and looked up, like, how cool, dude! I didn't even know that.
I mean, that's, you know, credit to the concept artists that we work with, right? You know, because, you know, Emiliano, he is the Motu guy to go to. Him and Florian Bertmer, right? So, you know, between those two guys, they feed me enough Motu knowledge for me to be like, okay, I remember this, or I don't remember this. Thank you for showing me. I knew of the existence of the mask. I just didn't know what the context was. And then when we were designing the figure, it was like, no, you can include these. I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
See, that's so cool. That's so awesome.
But yeah, I mean, and, you know, I think that's kind of part of Mondo's DNA. I mean, even back in the day, you know, we were the first ones to release Batman the Animated Series figures.
Yeah.
Back, you know, early, when was it? 5 to 8 years ago, when we released the first Batman. That was the first one. You know, we were the first one to do an Iron Giant figure, also, nice, right? At the time, Ramona Flowers. I mean, so it's been like, Mondo's always been around about like, let's try to bring something new and exciting, and that's why Megan is such an exciting thing for us, because it's like, you know, we're going to be the first ones to bring Megan.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so fresh right now too. So you're like,
you know, with we're going to do the movable eyes for sure. For the hair, it's probably going to be synthetic, or, you know, we're not quite sure yet on what the final material is going to be, but it's going to be as high quality as we can get it.
Okay. And she will have the rolling eyes kind of system.
Yeah, we definitely want that. You have to, because I mean, part of her, you know, if you've seen the movie or you've seen all the promo images, it's all about that like 3/4 look that she gives. Like, she's always looking. Her head is like this, but she's always like this, like looking to the. She's side-eyeing everybody, basically.
Well, Pedro, there you go, man. You have it right there, man. I do appreciate that super chat. By the way, so that's actually really cool.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Yeah, a lot of people like that Megan. They were talking about that all over like social media from people I know.
Man. Yeah, it's really amazing to see it in person, man. It's like it just, you stop and you go, oh, they shrunk it down. We shrunk it down.
Yeah, dude. Well, you guys are killing it, dude, on all the other animated stuff as well.
Thanks, dude.
And thank you for having us on, man. This is
man.
This is so cool.
Oh yeah, of course. I know, Hector, you probably have to get going. Yeah.
I do.
Or
Yeah.
An extra 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you did. I did. I appreciate it. I appreciate
no
it. I loved all the spoilers, dude, that you said while Peter was gone.
Yeah,
awesome.
no, for real, Peter.
That's why I left. It's
Everything.
perfect. So I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
No, we're always happy to reveal some stuff when we can. I love doing that because it does create a little bit of hype and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody's going to PowerCon who's watching this, come say hi, come by the booth, tell us you're watching 6-Scale Mafia. And I think we're gonna have a panel there too, which should be really cool.
Yeah.
Where's PowerCon?
It's in
Ohio
this year, Columbus.
That's too far from here.
Yeah, that's where it was last year. And we're stoked. We were there the year before last. We were there and seeing all the fans and the turnout for our stuff was incredible. So
it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, we're excited.
Oh yeah, dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. I mean, Peter, do you have to get going too, or
I can say a few more minutes, make up for lost time. Yeah, unless you got to run.
Up to you guys. I mean, we can wrap, or we can.
Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it. That was good. It's not gonna get any better than that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was awesome. And we'll talk. I know we'll talk again.
For sure. Anytime dude, happy to jump on anytime, man. This wasn't even like super planned out, but I'm happy to do it. So I'm down to do it anytime. Just reach out. We'll be here.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And Hector, it's cool meeting you as well. Coming on and
likewise.
Always welcome, man. We can always riff on anything coming or going or anything in between, right? All the stay tuned stuff.
Stay tuned.
Dude, that's so awesome. All right, guys. Well, yeah, appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys all so much for all your questions, super chats, all the above. Got a lot coming, man. I can't wait.
The packages smell. They love Mondo figures. I love the way they smell when you open them.
We got that good fresh smell.
Yeah, someone actually asked, I think they messaged Peter a couple days ago because they opened up our soft vinyl Biollante. They're like, are they supposed to smell? It's like, yeah, it's a new toy smell. It's like a new car.
But the vinyl figures are like
fresh factory vinyl smell. You're gonna smell it, man. Whoa, and then it goes away after a while, obviously.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but you just need to capture you can make it in like a spray bottle.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of every
That's
box got to carry, right?
Yeah. The used toy.
Oh my god.
New toy smell, sir? I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, please. I'll take 10 of those. So, all right, guys. Everybody out there, dude. Thank you guys for tuning in. Links are going to be in the description for you guys below too. I got you guys, socials, website, all that. You guys have a good rest of your night, and I will see you Saturday. All right, peace out.